I am live on my YouTube channel, so I'm going to take out a few seconds to set up my IG live feed. Welcome everyone to Life's Journey. Let me do this. I hope I'm able to connect quickly today. Checking for connection. Hello HA_E4. Thank you for joining in. Strictly_Everin, Onyi_Adetamola. Hello Austin_Bren. Thank you for joining in. Welcome to Life's Journey with Benedicta. Last week we couldn't hold the show. Last week I couldn't come on live. It was a very busy day for me. So I apologize for that. That dynamite dude, thank you for joining in. And if you are joining us for the very first time, this is Life's Journey with Benedicta. We come here every Saturday to discuss topical issues that concerns us, events that are happening in our society, how we choose to deal with them or how we respond to them, how we handle these events or how we allow these events to mold our lives, to shape our lives. There is always a lesson or two to be learned from every situation, from every circumstance, from every story you hear or any story you listen to. So Life's Journey is here to discuss these issues, talk about them. It's an interactive session. You're free to ask questions, you're free to make your contributions. It is an interactive session, always interactive. So let me know if you have any contribution at any point in time that you wish to join my live. You can raise up your hands and I will invite you to share your own experience with us. Here on Life's Journey, we learn by listening to other people tell their stories. We learn by sharing our life experiences. So on today's topic, we are going to be discussing the Johnson Saga. Yes, I heard and I read about the Johnson's story concerning her child in school. And as a mom of 5, I can relate with what she went through. As a mom of 4 grown-up children and 1 toddler, I can relate with this. Some of us mothers, fathers, I wouldn't say are overprotective. It is our responsibility as parents to look out for our children. It is our responsibility as parents to understand when something isn't right with our child. When you notice that there are certain traits that your child or your children are beginning to exhibit that was never really there, you know something is amiss. For example, if you notice that your child is suddenly showing signs of anxiety, mood swings, sudden burst into tears, fear, not wanting to go to school or not wanting to go to a particular place, and this was never the case, then you know something is amiss. And it is left for you as a mom or as a father, as a guardian, to dig deep into that situation. And should you find out that that child is being bullied or that child is not being treated fairly, it is left for you to do everything that you can as a mom or as a dad to ensure that your child is in a safe environment. I mean, from the story I gathered that she went to the school, to find out what really was going on with the child in school. But from what someone said, and later the person had to recant that, oh, she was sorry, she didn't mean she came to fight. You see, sometimes when mothers, or rather when parents, go to a child's school to make a complaint, two things usually happen. Is either the school welcomes that complaint and looks into it professionally, or they try to call to give the person a bad name by saying they did something they didn't do or they overreacted as a parent. I mean, it's easily believable when you say a mom overreacted towards a situation concerning a child. It is a very believable story. It's easy to, sell that story because sometimes parents can overreact. But when that is not the situation, that means the school has decided or the school didn't go about it in a professional way. Because for the lady to later come back and recant and say, oh, she's sorry, she never meant that. Why would you go all out and say something as damaging as that if you weren't sure that that was what happened? I mean, why would you accuse a parent of coming to school with thugs if you weren't sure that that was what happened? If it's not because you purposely want to tarnish the mother's image. And I'm saying this for people that are custodians of children, especially minors. You have to be extremely careful how you handle these minors. And complaints coming from parents and guardians should be taken seriously and should be handled professionally. It is the duty of a parent, it is the duty of a guardian to be protective over their ward. So coming to your establishment to make a complaint, to investigate about a certain behavioral or a certain new behavioral pattern of one's child is not wrong. There is nothing absolutely wrong about that. As a parent, we have every right to be protective over our children, especially if they are minors. There is something I always tell my children. I teach them that, look, you must always speak up. Learn to speak up, especially when you feel you are being cheated or when you feel you're not being treated fairly. This training or this teaching is what I have given to all of my children. But it will shock you to know that not all my children have been able to imbibe this. Why? Because of their personality differences. Not all children are the same. I have a child that is very outspoken, very bold. She's going to challenge you if she feels she has been mistreated. I have another child that will keep quiet and will never speak up, even when she feels she's been maltreated. So as a parent, you have to notice the differences in the behavioral pattern of your children. And you should be able to fill in the gap, especially in a situation such as this. If you feel your child is being bullied in school or your child is not being treated properly in school, it is your responsibility as a parent, as a guardian, to go and investigate. You're not going there to fight. You're not going there to beat up anyone, but you are going there as a parent to investigate, to lay your complaints, and those complaints must be attended to. I have 4 grown-up children, I'm still going to say it, and 1 toddler. My children have gone through so many nursery schools, primary schools, secondary schools, and I have been opportuned to see the different managerial styles that different schools adopt in dealing with issues like this. And I cannot tell you that every school is professional. I have been fortunate to have been in some schools that will handle such situations professionally, perfectly, and you will get satisfactory results. And I have also been unfortunate to be in school, in a school where a situation like this will be swept under the carpet if you as a parent do not put your foot down and insist that the right thing must be done. So in a situation like this, as a parent, we have a role to play. As children, they also have to learn the responsibility of speaking up for themselves. Like I said earlier on, it doesn't come naturally with every child. So until that child is able to speak up for himself or able to speak up for herself, it is your responsibility as a parent or as a guardian to fill in the blanks, go to the school, and make any unfair or any observation that you have that is inappropriate concerning your child known. And making that complaint known is not enough. You must insist as a parent that that complaint is looked into. And if there is someone that is found guilty, then that person should be removed from the system. Because something as severe as bullying, if you allow it to go unhandled or untreated in a particular instance, it is going to continue and more children are going to fall victim. More children are going to fall victim. So it is not enough for you to say, oh, I don't want them to, like, I'll tell you what happened. One of my children came home one day and she reported a situation of an inappropriate behavior of a teacher. You know, she told me, and then I was upset and I said, why didn't you lay this complaint to your head of school or to your year head? And she said, if I do that, other students are going to be upset with me because they will know that I was the one that reported, because they will know that my mom came to school to make a complaint, so I will be the one responsible for this, and the bullying will get worse. And I said, what do you mean by the bullying will get worse? And she said, Mommy, if you come and you report, you will not be the first parent reporting. You will not be the second parent reporting. They are not going to do anything about it. And once you're done reporting, I will now be in a bigger trouble with the teacher. So do you now understand why I say, if a situation like this occurs, that particular teacher responsible or that particular person responsible, if the person is an adult, if the person is in the administrative sector of that institution, that person ought to be removed from that institution. Because if they do not do that, then that child that was bullied would even be bullied on a higher level or on a more frequent basis. So this was what my child told me, that should I come to the school to make a complaint, she is going to be responsible for reporting that teacher, and she would be bullied even more. I told her something, that I will never be alive and watch you being bullied. And I want you to learn from this. No matter how tough a bully is, or no matter how big or strong or persistent a bully is, It is your responsibility to stand up to that bully. And I told her, I'm going to come to your school and I'm going to let the school management know of this behavior. And I'm going to let them know that it has been going on for a while. And if nothing is done about this, if that particular person isn't removed from the system or made to apologize to all the students that have been victims, I would take you out of that institution. And I'm personally going to raise it up with other parents, because it is not every child that is close to the parent or close to a parent or close to the mom as my child is with me. Because there is something you also have to know about bullying. Some children are being bullied, but they will never talk about it with their parents. One, because they are not close enough to discuss such things with their parents. Two, because they are scared that their parents might overreact or react by going to the school authorities. Three, they are just too scared to talk about it. So in my own situation, I considered myself lucky. One, my child was not so afraid that she couldn't discuss it with me. And two, we are close, so she tells me everything that happens in school. So I told her that this is what I must do. And she has to take a cue from this. She has to learn from this, because this is a real life situation being thrown at her. And as she grows up in life, she's going to come across such situations every now and again. Bullying doesn't just happen in the lower elementary or lower secondary or higher secondaries. Bullying can happen in any place at all. Some people get bullied in their place of work. Some people get bullied in the homes that they are married into. Some people get bullied by the people that they are emotionally involved with. So bullying can take on any form and can happen in any place. These are the lessons that you should pass on to your children. Let them understand what bullying is. It doesn't just happen at that elementary stage. And let them know that at different intervals in their lives, they are going to come across bullies. And the way you handle it, or the way your children see you as a parent handle a bullying situation, is what will equip them for the future that is before them. If a child should tell you as a parent about a bullying situation, and you as a parent, you do nothing, you have not just killed the hope of that child, but you have made the child to believe that any time in life that he or she is bullied, the only way out is to back down, keep quiet, and absorb it and do nothing. Because that child is worried about watching you. He or she has come to you with a complaint. Consciously or subconsciously, that child is watching to see what the reaction of her mother or her father or her guardian will be. Remember, you're your child's first role model. They learn by watching you, not just by listening to you. So a complaint has been made. A complaint has been brought forward by this child that looks up to you, not just as a parent or as a guardian, but as a mentor, as her or his first role model. So be very mindful of how you handle a situation like this. Because if not properly handled, that child will be scarred for life by just watching the way you have handled the situation. I recently took one of the schools that my children is attending. I recently took them to court, to the High Court, for gross misconduct, for a misconduct that I considered gross. For two reasons. For the pain that their conduct has cost me and my child. Two, so that if their conduct is legally wrong, it will serve as a deterrent to them going forward when relating with other parents. Because I believe before my situation with them happened, other parents have gone through what I went through with them in the past. And other parents in that school in future might be unfortunate to experience what I experienced with them. So a situation like that, you don't keep quiet about it. You go all the way in ensuring that the right thing is done, not just in your matter, but the right thing is done every time a situation like this occurs. So children are watching. They are watching you as a parent to see how you handle a situation that has been inappropriately handled. How do you manage it as a parent? How do you address it as a parent? How do you salvage the situation in such a way that your child would once again feel safe, feel secure, feel happy in belonging in that environment? Binta_Ghana, yes, you are right. Unless a parent stands up and faces a situation, the school board will pay attention. Yes. If a parent doesn't stand and, pay attention, face a situation fair and square, sometimes the school board will not pay attention. Because whether we like it or not, these schools are a business organization. They are not a charity organization. So they are not just there to ensure the proper upbringing of your children, to ensure the educational transference is properly done on every child on the campus. They are also there for the monetary gains. And they are protecting the interest of their investors. So sometimes when they feel that a particular situation might be damaging to the reputation of the school or might be damaging to the economic values of the school, they tend to quell it. Whether it is in the benefit of the child or not, they can't be bothered. What they are after is their own financial gains sometimes. So as a parent, it is your responsibility to go all the way to make sure that the rightful thing is done. And by you doing that, you're not just doing that for your own child. You are also doing that for every child in that school and for every child that will come to that school in future. Because I believe that in every battle, there is a lesson to be learned. There's a lesson for the school management to learn. There's a lesson for every parent to learn. There's also a lesson for the children of the school to learn. Because whether you like it or not, these children are watching. They know what has happened. They have heard what has happened. And they're going to go home and tell their mom, "Oh, mommy, this was what happened to Tinuke in school today. And this was what Tinuke's mommy did. And this was what our principal said. And this was what the year head did." So children are learning by watching. So there is a lesson for everybody involved to learn. So please, as a parent, you cannot say you're being overprotective on matters such as this. Although I understand that sometimes we have parents that are excessively protective over their children. They shield them so much from life's activities that they don't want them to experience life itself. That also can be detrimental to the development of the child. So it is our responsibility as a parent to learn to balance it. Learn when you're overshielding a child and learn when you are carrying out your responsibility as a parent or as a guardian. Binta_Ghana, you said the child will have that trust that his parents love and care about them. We as parents are their safety net. Fantastic. Fantastic. I like this. As parents, we are the safety net of our children. As guardians, we are the safety net of our children. Let us always keep that at the back of our minds. Especially as minors, they are looking up to us. Even as young adults, I can tell you, they do not know their left from their right in most situations in life. So as parents, you will continue to be a parent until the day you breathe your last. That is one thing I want parents to know. There is no end of the road or a graduation ceremony to being a parent. You will be a parent to your child for as long as you are breathing. It's just that your parental style is definitely going to be changing over the years. The way you parent a toddler is not the way you are supposed to parent a teenager. I can tell you from experience. Handling teenagers, oh my goodness, it is not a walk in the park. There is no manual that prepares you for handling a teenager, especially in this day and times that we are in. The world is changing. So many things are different. It's not easy raising a teenager now. So there is no manual that prepares you on how you're going to raise a teenage child. So the parental manual changes from the toddler stage to the teenager stage to when the child becomes an adolescent to when the child becomes a full-grown mommy or daddy. You never stop being a parent, but your parental style only changes over the years. So just like Binta_Ghana said, we are the safety net of our children. And we will continue to be the safety net of our children as long as we are breathing. So if we have this at the back of our minds, then we would understand that we're just doing what we have to do as parents. We're not over-parenting or anything like that. Henry_the Great 2000 says, more love, Tastebudz. You speak facts. Thank you so much, Henry. That is the truth. Like Binta said, we are the safety net of our children. We just have to know that and know that it is our responsibility to speak up for them, especially if we have children that are too scared to speak out. Some are just born that way, and over the years they have to learn how to speak out. They also have to learn how to stand up for themselves. I teach my children to learn to stand up for themselves and also to stand up for those that are not so bold as they are. Learn to speak for anyone that you feel is being treated unjustly and they cannot speak for themselves. I have a daughter that is so brilliant when it comes to writing. Oh, she writes so well. She wants to be an author, one of the many things she wants to do. And I remember once when she was in junior secondary, she wrote a speech. They made the whole class to write an essay on a topic, and hers was the best. It was so good. They wanted whoever wrote the essay to come out on the General Assembly and read the essay. That was how good the essay was. And then you wouldn't believe what happened. The form tutor came and said, your essay is the best. It's so brilliant, so insightful, but I have a bit of a problem because you do not know how to speak loudly. When you talk, people can't really hear you. I would like you to hand over your essay to another pupil in that class to read. My daughter's essay was taken away from her. That was, I think, 3 years ago. And it was given to another pupil that could, speak really well. It was given to another pupil to read. She kept quiet. She didn't say anything. And the pupil went on stage, General Assembly, read her essay, took all the credit for it, not even mentioning that the essay was written by some other person. If they had even called her out on the assembly and said, this beautiful essay was written by this wonderful child, please can we give a round of applause for her? At least that would have been something. The essay was read by another student, no credit given to my daughter, and then she came home and she told me. And she said, Mommy, please, it's okay, I don't want you to say anything about it. This wasn't a phone call, it wasn't even something to do on the phone. I picked up the essay and I drove to the school the next day. And I insisted that I wanted to see the school principal, I wanted to see the class teacher, and I wanted to see the year head. I wanted them to explain why such a decision was taken. And I also explained to them the implications of such a decision, how it can affect not just my child, but how a decision like this can affect any child psychologically. And what they did was ethically wrong. I wanted them to apologize to my child, make her know that it was wrong, and I wanted my child to be given credit for that essay. So that will boost her morale in future. So when they say write an essay, she's not going to say, oh, why do I have to write a beautiful essay? After all, at the end of the day, somebody else is going to read my essay. And I also made it clear to the school that if she has difficulties speaking up in public, then the school also has failed as a school. Because from a very young age, children are taught public speaking. All the schools I've made my children attend, they teach them public speaking. So if you find out that a particular child is not doing so well when it comes to public speaking, it is a responsibility of the school to ensure that that child gets more tutelage as regards public speaking. So for the school to have failed in that aspect, and instead of tutoring her on how to speak in public, you decided to take her essay and hand it over to another child. So I had to point it out to the school, all the levels on which I believed they erred. And I was happy that they took note of it, and such a situation never happened again. So like I say, sometimes as parents, it is our responsibility to point it out, or rather to point out when things are not being properly done. Like in any good school, they will tell you that educating a child is a two-way road. It is the responsibility of the parents at home, the relatives at home, the guardians of a child to educate the child, as well as the responsibility of the school that your child is in. It is a two-way journey. So if you find out that as a parent, you are the only one doing the educating, you're the only one doing the counseling, and you feel the school isn't doing their bid, it is left for you as a parent to talk things out with them. I believe that's why they have PTAs in school, Parents Teachers Association, where parents can air their views and teachers also can air their views. It's a two-way thing. So if you find out that your child is in a school where parents' contributions are not welcomed, parents' contributions are seen as vile, evil, or unwanted, then I think your child is in the wrong environment. That child should be taken out from that school, because educating a child is a two-way road. And that is one thing I want us to take home today. Educating a child is a two-way road. So the schools in which your children are attending should be willing to work as a team with you as a parent. So that is it on today's topic. I believe that we have aired our views. I'm going to read comments from here. So if you have any contributions that you want to make, please let us hear it, because I believe that by us contributing, us discussing this topic as a team, we get to learn a lot from each other. I believe a lot of us are parents. If we're not parents, some of us are guardians. If we're not guardians, some of us have the desire to have a child someday. So learning that parenting is a two-way road is very important. It is your responsibility as a parent, and also the responsibility of the school that your child is in to work with you as a team. So you can never be too protective when it comes to reporting abnormalities or signs that you consider as abnormal in your child or in your children to the schools that your children are attending. And if you happen to be in the educational sector, you happen to be in the administrative sector of any school at all, please encourage parents to talk about these things, Don't try to give them a bad name or, twist the story around to make a parent feel what they are doing is wrong or what they are doing is evil. It's going to send a bad, or rather a wrong signal across, because as a parent it is our responsibility to speak out for our children, especially when they are minors. So that is it on today's topic. And on YouTube, Plain says, good advice, madam. Deeply thought out. Keep up the good job. Thank you so much, Plain. Yeah, I think as parents, it is our responsibility to speak out on behalf of our children, especially if they are minors. So thank you all for joining in today, and see you same time next week. But if you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, it is youtube.com/Tastebudzng, and we have a lot of Life's Journey previous topics. If you want to catch up on them, log on to our YouTube channel and you're going to see all the previous topics that we have discussed. Listen to them, share them to people you feel should listen and learn from the stories. Drop your comments in the comment section. We want to learn from your own experience. We want to learn from your own stories as well. So feel free to drop your comments in the comment section. And remember, Life's Journey is every Saturday. And for those of you that are culinary enthusiasts or big time foodies, we've got so many new food videos that I uploaded on this YouTube channel. About 4 different food videos that was uploaded last week. So you can also go on this channel and catch up on the latest food recipes that we have uploaded on this channel. And we have so much more coming up next week. So thank you all for joining in. To have a lovely, 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 lovely weekend. Love you all. Bye-bye.